Hey Whisky Club members, it's Craig here on the ground in Scotland. I'm up in Speyside. We're in the wonderful town of Aberlour, famed for its shortbread, its river, and most of all, for the Aberlour Distillery. We're here today to meet Graeme, the distillery manager, and get a look around the old site and maybe get a wee sneak behind the curtain of the Aberlour of the future. Alright Graeme, 23 years here at Aberlour. It's not a short stint.
No.
You've obviously seen a few changes, and I know that there's big things ahead for this amazing wee distillery in Speyside. So, do you want to give us an idea of some of the major changes that you've overseen in your time here, and also a wee bit of an update of what we can expect going forward?
23 years, it's about a milestone, aye. Yeah, the distillery pretty much is in its same guise as it was when I came here for a start in 2002. But we're going through a transition period for the next generation of distilleries that will come after us.
Right.
Our focus here is on building a new expanded distillery. So the current capacity here is just under 4 million litres. And we're going to take that up to 8 million litres with a new distillery.
Oh wow.
The key focus, obviously, is going to be the quality. We want to maintain that true classic Aberlour Speyside, but we're also going to employ some new technologies in the distillery. Key aspects are going to be how we can save water,
of course,
making the distillery more sustainable, how we can save energy, new MVR technology and running the stills, so reducing our carbon footprint. So we can build this distillery so it's going to be safeguarded in here for the generations of distillers to come. So exciting times.
Fantastic. 8 million litres is a fair whack of whisky, and I know that a lot of that will be driven by the love for it from our members. Aberlour is a huge favourite amongst our members.
As our founder James Fleming, his motto was "Let the deed show," and our whisky speaks for itself, you know.
I'd agree with that. Should we go and have a look at the production?
Yeah, great idea.
Good stuff. Alright Graeme, so we're here in the heart of the distillery. We're in the mash house and tun room, and this is where I guess the flavour of Aberlour starts to form. But you were saying earlier on that most of the barley is from round about here.
Yeah, so for the last 8 years we've had a single source malted barley supplier. It's currently coming from Crisp Maltings down in Port Gordon.
Yep.
They source all our malting barley from within 15 miles of the distillery.
Fantastic.
So very local, going back to our roots, back to when James Fleming would have owned the distillery, and he himself was a grain merchant in the town of Aberlour. So keeps our carbon footprint down as well, so it's all locally sourced to the maltings, malted and then sent up to the distillery. And we're currently receiving just under 10,000 tonnes of malted barley a year.
That's a fair amount. And obviously the members and the Whisky Club have managed to secure this 2012 vintage from Aberlour, and when everyone gets their bottle and opens it, and first thing they're going to get on the nose is this amazing fruitiness. Would you say that really starts to sort of show itself in the fermentation process here?
Oh yes, our consistent mashing process here. So we mash 12.5 tonnes every 8 hours.
Right.
We fill the wash bats with just over 50,000 litres of wort. When we add the yeast, that fermentation process takes just under 60 hours, and we start to get this really fruity pineapple notes coming through the fermented wash, and that's just a precursor of what's to come down in the stillhouse.
So you would say the pinnacle of the Speyside style in terms of that lovely tropical fruit driven single malt whisky.
Immensely important, and that's all driven by our care, right through the selection of the barley, the selection of the yeast strain, the hygiene in the plant, how we look after it, how we keep that consistent profile every day of the week, every week of the year.
So people would say that the creation of flavour for a whisky starts in fermentation, but the concentration is coming from those beautiful copper stills.
Yeah, well, we're getting the basis, the fundamentals right here in the tun room. Now when we get the stills, that's where the distiller, that's where he plays the tunes with the stills and gets that refined new make spirit that defines the character of the Scotch whisky he's trying to make.
Fantastic. Well, let's go and have a look at the copper then.
Yeah, let's do that.
Superb. Alright, so we're here in the still house at Aberlour. We've got these beautiful short onion-shaped copper stills. So how do these bring the character of Aberlour through?
We work in pairs, obviously. We run the wash still twice to give us enough low wines for the spirit still. So 12,500 litre charge in the wash still, run that twice. get enough low wine, and then charge the spirit still. The spirit still is an 8-hour distillation time, so quite long, and that slower distillation time allows us to kind of refine that new make spirit into that citrus, fruity, black currant notes that you can smell in here, giving a bit of body to that new make spirit as well. A lot of copper contact in the stills, so really cleaning it up and making it really nice and fruity stuff.
Yeah, you can smell that black currant in here. And you said earlier it's like Ribena.
Just like a glass of Ribena, yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. And having the short stills, obviously almost like a tip of the hat to the tradition of the Highland style, give you that weight and that body.
Absolutely, yeah. So copper all manufactured locally as well, so used for sites of office.
Okay. So
local craftsmen making sure that these stills are replicated time and time again as we go on through generations of distillers here at Aberlour.
The character that we've seen in the World Whisky Award runner-up of our 2010 vintage, we released in the 2012, that is on its way to our members, and they were shaped by these stills. How important is consistency for you guys here? And
yeah, we take it very, very seriously. So every drop that passes through the spirit safe in here, we assess that every week to make sure we're getting that consistent new make spirit profile before we lay it down into the best of casks. In the case of the 2012, American oak and European cherry butts for the maturation process.
Now we spoke earlier about Aberlour being a kind of, at one point was a smaller traditional distillery, but there's such a demand for the amazing single malt that you produce here that we're on a bit of an expansion train, aren't we? So what's happening in the building works?
Yeah, so next door there we're currently building a new distillery. We're going to ramp up the production from 4 million litres to 8 million litres.
Yep.
So that includes a brand new mash tun, new fermentation, wash bats. We'll go from 6 up to 14. And then instead of the 4 copper pots, we'll have 8 copper pot stills in the still house.
Wow.
They'll be operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to produce that 8 million litres of alcohol to support the Aberlour single malt brand going forward.
Before it can become a whisky though, we obviously have to put it into oak. So we should probably head out and stand outside one of the traditional warehouses and chat a bit about wood policy and what makes the 2012 so special.
Great stuff, Craig. Let's go.
All right. So Graeme, we've made our new make spirit. It's the perfect Aberlour style.
Hope so.
The next thing we've got to talk about is maturation. So I've got the 2012 edition here exclusively for the Whisky Club. Some of our team have described this as taking that big robust sherryness of a Boona and then smashing it together with the beautiful bourbon casks as well to create this balance. So talk us through your wood policy and your maturation.
Yeah, I think as a single malt Aberlour, it's always prided itself in its ability to mature its whiskies in sherry casks. And you talked about a Boona. Well, there's no other sherry whisky like a Boona in the world. But our wood management policy, yeah, we've got American oak casks and we've got European sherry oak casks, and we pride ourselves in how we typically can marry those two types of casks together to give different dimensions and different facets to the Aberlour. The American oak obviously offering up that lighter fruits and toffee, vanilla flavours, whereas the sherry cask will introduce spices and softer fruits, plums, dark chocolate, oranges. So a lot going on there. And the key is for the team that work with Aberlour, the blending team, is how they marry that two types of casks together. And I think we've got it down to quite a fine art, actually.
I'd agree. I mean, your first exclusive release for us was a medal winner. That did really, really well in the global awards, and I know our members absolutely loved it. It flew off the shelves. To see the second release come to fruition and build upon that success, and as I say, bring in that kind of big, rich sherry influence that a lot of our people will know Aberlour for is exciting.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a great testament to the whole distillery and the whole distillery team, and how they lay down that new make spirit. The blending team, how they selected that casks. The warehouse guys who warehoused that whisky for the term, 13 years in this case, and then packaging that in the bottle.
I mean, for us, it's a huge pleasure to get access to stuff like this. It's even nicer for us to come in and meet the guy that was in charge when this whisky was laid down you know, in 2012. So, you know, if there's any complaints, do we just send them straight to you?
Write in a letter. Post it to the PR team. I'm sure it'll find its way to my desk, but yeah. No, we haven't had many complaints over the years, so I'm not expecting any from this batch either.
Fantastic. Well, there's only one thing for us to do now. We've gone through the process. We've had a look at the distillery. We should probably have a wee dram.
Now you're talking.
Good stuff. Let's go. On behalf of everyone at the Whisky Club, of all the members, I just want to say thank you for putting this together for us, and thank you for sharing a dram and distillery tour with me today.
Cheers. All the best.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Not bad, eh? I think we're on a winner. I think we'll be happy with that back home.